Hi, hello, and welcome to my video. Today, I will be approaching the movie The Day After Tomorrow as a climate fiction. The same topic will be covered in Malayalam in tomorrow's video. All related videos are made into playlists, links of which are given in the description. Moving on to the movie, we can categorize this particular movie under the following genres. Such as climate fiction or Cli-Fi, sci-fi that is science fiction, adventure, thriller, etc. This movie was conceived, co-written, co-produced and directed by Roland Emmerich in the year 2004. And this movie is based on the book The Coming Global Superstorm written by Art Bell and Whitley Strieber and published in the year 1999. This movie explores climate change as an apocalyptic event, trying to explain the science behind it based on current issues intertwined with imagination, in which the repercussions are predicted when the said climate change happens at a faster rate. Since it is talking about climate change, it is a Cli-Fi. Since it discusses about the science behind it, it is a sci-fi. And since it talks about the adventures of the main characters, comes under adventure as well as thriller. And since it explores climate change through an apocalyptic event, it is an apocalyptic narrative, etc. Moving on to the story itself. The protagonist of the story is Jack Hall, an American paleoclimatologist. We can see that he is attending a United Nations conference in New Delhi, in which he is explaining how the current climate change scenario can result in, or rather end up in, another ice age. The US Vice President responded to Jack's call for action, saying that the repercussions of climate change will take years, probably decades, or even centuries to affect us, whereas the financial burden for these actions can create immediate repercussions. In the beginning of this particular movie, he and his colleagues Frank and Jason are seen in Larsen Ice Shelf for a research work of the NOAA, or the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And we see that the ice shelf splits or breaks. Now, let us try to remember some of the major issues that are discussed under climate change, like glacial melting. This is happening at a very slow pace, and the breaking away of the ice shelf, as seen in the first scene, is an event that can happen in future, leading to rising sea levels, to the disruption of North Atlantic Ocean circulation, meaning the ocean currents, which are either controlled by the difference in temperatures of oceans at different places. Now, in this movie, this disruption causes at a rapid rate, leading to temperature and pressure variations, which in turn lead to multiple tornadoes. In the movie, we can see Professor Terry Rapson, an oceanographer of the Headland Centre in Scotland, sharing and approving to the views of Jack on climate shift. Meanwhile, we see astronauts from the International Space Station spotting 3 gigantic superstorms over Canada, Europe, and Siberia. Without time for any sort of preparation, tornado outbreak happens, and as a result of that, multiple plane crashes, in which at first the British royalty and later the rescue helicopters are crashed. When the natural disaster scenario escalates, Jack Hall is tasked with presenting his findings in front of the US president. Meanwhile, his son Sam, along with his friends Brian and Laura, participates in an academic decathlon in New York City, which is one of the first places to get hit by the changing climate. As a massive storm surge strikes New York, Jack warns Sam, urging him to stay inside in a place as elevated as possible and as warm as possible, and promises him that Jack will come to rescue Sam. Rapson and his team can be seen caught in the European storm, and it can only be assumed that they perished. Meanwhile, the US president orders evacuation of the US citizens to Mexico. The last person to be evacuated from the White House, the president, was caught in the storm and died. Thus, the vice president became the acting president of US. Jack's wife Lucy can be seen staying in hospital with a patient. Sam and his friends take refuge in the New York Public Library, and when Sam tells the people about Jack's warning, the refugees divide into two groups. One group favoring escape from the library when the seawater that engulfed New York froze over. Those people who remained cuddled inside a room with a fireplace and burned books in the library to keep themselves warm. Meanwhile, one of Sam's friends, Laura, develops sepsis and their friends venture out to find penicillin to rescue her. They tried to get it from a Russian cargo ship that was abandoned during that storm while they were attacked by a pack of escaped wolves from the Central Park Zoo. Jack, after his presentation, made his way to New York City with the help of his friends Jason and Frank. On the way, Frank died meeting with an accident. Jack and Jason escaped the superstorm with the help of the NASA scientist Janet, who informed them about the superstorm. Jack finds Sam and his party alive, and in the end, the superstorm is dissipated. The ex-vice president, who is now president, realizes his mistake of ignoring the not so immediate threats. After which, the US president gives an address recognizing the importance to act immediately on issues related to climate change. At the end of the movie, we can see the same astronauts looking at Earth and commenting that the air never looked so clear, an indication that nature will somehow find a way to cleanse herself. With that, we have come to the end of this topic. Please like my video if you found my video helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell button for more of my videos. Thank you.